Yeah, if anyone here, let me know. Any spirits, any shadow beings? Tap me on the shoulder. Oh wow, see the bats?
Okay, any spirits that are in this tunnel with us currently other than the bats? No. Hello? Thank you for coming to communicate.
Oh, see the bats. Okay. Okay, over here is a bell. There's a bell. Yeah. So jingle those bells, man. Jingle those bells.
Yes.
Okay, any entities, any spirits? Anyone here? Go down in here. Anyone here? Hey, let me know if you're here. Any spirit beings? Loads of bats. I know that's it, lots of bats. I wonder if Dogman ever comes out to play here. This is the one where, in the live, I lost connection. Okay. It's a bit softer on the eyes having a red light. Shadows scream. Is that right? The shadows scream? Okay, switch it to thermal. Anyone here? I'm here alone. There's no one else in this room with me. That's the way in. It's the doorway. Is there any other entity in here? Make a noise, make a sound. Come on out. I think that was another bat. There's tons of bats around here. Okay. Okay, right. Let's try in here then. Okay. I'm here alone. I'm here alone. you want to talk to me? If you're still hanging around, if you're a person who's died and passed over, you want to say hello? I don't mind. You won't scare me. It'll be fine. I want to know. I want to talk to you. Do you know what? That looks like a Black Widow thing. That's horrible, that one. Right. Yeah. Yeah? You want to talk to us? That's fine. What's that ring again? Guess it doesn't. This one's not the one that makes a sound. Doesn't resonate, this one. Ah, look at that. See that? Zozo. That's a very odd name, isn't it? Zozo. A lot of people who do Ouija boards, that name Zozo comes up an awful lot. It's like a keeper. It's like almost like a demonic spirit that protects the board, the entrance to the board. Always seems to come up in a Ouija session. Red bullet box. Anti-aircraft shells. Wow. That looks interesting down there. Sure, I saw something moving beyond that wall on the right hand side. Sure, I saw something moving beyond that wall on the right hand side. Any ghosts, spirits, entities of any sort? It's a bit grim down there. Any spirits, entities? My name is Phil. You'd like to make yourself known, that'd be cool. You must have loads of questions. I would have. I'd have a lot of questions. Lovely bats, lovely. God, something's broke through there. In my bag I've got a box. If you talk into that box, I'll be able to understand you. Yeah? All you got to do is come up, say hello. Only got a couple of questions. You must have questions. If you have, let me know. Well, I thought it was a bomb there. It is a dummy one. So it's down here that they used to load up all the artillery for the big gun upstairs, was it? Okay. Well, I'd like to communicate with you. I'd like to know what you are, who you are. You know? I've got another box in my bag, which lets me know if you come near. Oops. All normal. Hello, Betty. Wow, that's so swift. This ground feels funny. Okay. This is where all the artillery was kept, was it? This must have been thunderous. When that gun was going, it must have been absolutely thunderous. The sound of that gun must have been just echoing through here. Okay. Okay, right. My name is Phil. I would like to talk to you. I've got an app. Right, now you won't know what that is. I've got a box in my bag, right? And if you use your energy or whatever you've got, yeah, to come talk into that box, it'll tell me what you're saying. He'll use and read. Okay. That's cool. Well, if you want to use it, use it. You know, that's what that box is for. I want to talk to you. Don't be a stranger. Yeah. That's the whole point. Let's try this one here, shall we? Yeah, don't be a stranger, just use it, you know. I don't mind. I want to talk to you. I can get communication, that's brilliant. Oh, hello, what's this? Oh, thank you. Her one. Who's her? Who's her? Her one what? Her one what? Oh, one more. So this is where the bombs and missiles used to come down, I'm guessing. And then you store them in his racks and then bolt them. Yeah, you run them down here and through these holes. It must be so noisy down here. Must be really noisy. Okay. Me, you're saying you? I never run the bombs down there. If you want to talk to me, you can. Yeah, you, as in me, yeah. I'm here. If you want to make a knocking sound, let me know you're here. Yeah? Make a sound like that. Alright, let's have a look down here then. Okay. Doesn't it get lonely down here? I mean, isn't it cool that, like, kind of you got someone that you could talk to? You know? Just be honest.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, absolutely honest. And the most important thing is detail. That's the most important. I will put light on just a little bit because you're a little bit in the dark. Okay, is that right? Or maybe, yeah. Right, so where did it first start, the fascination for you?
So I was pretty young, not too young. I was around maybe about 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And first time was when I had someone walk up the stairs. I was laid in bed late at night. No one was awake. I could not sleep, but I had my door open, and in front of my bedroom door was my stairs, and I saw someone walk up that stairs. Then I started getting a lot more activity. Really, whatever it was friendly. Don't know what it had in terms of its attachment to me, but it was always in my room. And it used to, I had the roller blinds, the ones you physically had to pull
to
remove them. Of a night time, it used to move my blind up and down. I could literally ask it to put my blind down and it would. I had quite a few occasions like that, things that used to move its own and whatnot. And then there was one occasion when I was about, I must have been about 11 years old. 11 years old. And it was a couple of years after my granddad passed. And I walked into my room one day, had no doors open, no windows open, nothing at all. I walked into my room and felt something sort of walk through me, rush past me, and all I could smell was my great-granddad's pipe, which was very specific. Though still to this day, I haven't smelled since. It was only ever from him, and I could smell my whole room smell of his pipe. And I felt something walk past me. So from that point, really, it was just, yeah, I always knew there was something out there that I couldn't explain. And yeah, so that's always been the main.
And so it started when you were about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And the entity or the figure you saw,
Yeah.
was that, are you saying that was your grandfather as well?
The first one, no. My granddad was still alive at that point. He died when I was around 8 years old.
Okay.
So I have no idea who that was.
Shadow being?
Maybe.
Did it look like a shadow?
There was one occasion that there was a shadow in the corner one day, but it was only ever seen if you know, like the computer chairs that spin.
The what?
The computer chairs that will spin.
Yeah.
It would only ever sort of appear when you were spinning. And if you'd stop, it wouldn't be there no more. It never harmed me, never done anything to me in that sense. And then obviously I had the granddad incident. And I mean, from then I didn't really have too much. But now with my son, he's 5. From about the age of 2, going on to 3, he said that he had a friend in the house. He used to point to specific places in the house. And then he told me the name Otis. And there's no one in my life, his life, anything whatsoever that's ever heard that name, let alone known someone with that name.
Yeah.
And he said that this man was Otis. And he would say like, oh, Otis is standing there, or he's sitting on the sofa. And he was very adamant about it and would talk to it. And that's sort of died down as he's got a bit older.
Okay.
And he doesn't seem to notice this Otis as much. But there was one occasion I had a picture on the wall. It's just like a normal canvas, sort of New York, whatever it was, and there was like Beacon Street. And he, at about 3 years old, stood up to that picture and pointed at one specific man and said, "That looks like Otis."
Oh, right, okay.
So,
and who was this man? Do you know?
No idea. It was just, he said that he looked like him, and it just looked like a sort of chubby white bald man.
A chubby white bald man.
Yeah. And
in a picture, and where was this picture?
It's just hung up on my wall, but it was just a normal canvas panel. There's probably thousands out there.
And it was hung up on a wall. Whereabouts?
In my bedroom. Not in a bedroom, in the living room. Sorry.
In the living room.
Yes.
Why did you have a picture of in the living room of a white bald man that you didn't know?
It was literally, so it was a It was like a print of a street in New York, and there was loads of people along the street.
Right.
And he picked out one specific person out of all the people he could see on that picture.
Okay, yeah.
And said that's who it looks like. And yeah, and ever since then the name Otis is just, I don't know where it came from or anything like that.
Right.
I've had a few incidents since then actually, in the house. Don't know why. I had one occasion where I had a red pencil turn up out of nowhere.
A red? Sorry?
A red pencil. Specific red pencil. I have no idea where it came from, still to this day. And I only ever had one specific pencil that was red.
Yeah.
And my kitchen was all clean, perfectly fine. I went out one day, I don't know, done whatever, came back into my kitchen, and there was just a red pencil sat directly on the worktop. I had no idea where it came from. I definitely only used it. My son only used it, he was in bed. So I thought it was my other one. I was a bit confused, so I thought maybe I picked it up and not realised or something. I went to put it back, but my red pencil was already there. So no idea what happened with that, how it got there, anything like that. And then yeah, there's been a good few occasions now, recently actually, where things have moved or dropped, specifically in the bathroom. I don't know what it is about the bathroom, but I've been stood there, even with people that have witnessed it in my house, been stood in the kitchen and something has completely been fallen into the bathtub. It's been the same for weeks, never been touched. Sometimes you'll hear a bang. I heard a bang the other day, and you could hear it sound like something had dropped, but there was nothing that had dropped.
Like a door closing?
Sort of. Oh, it's more like, could you imagine like a bottle dropping onto your floor? Onto
Yeah.
like laminate flooring?
Yeah.
It was like that, and I honestly thought something had dropped off in the bathroom, and I went to check and there was nothing that had fallen, nothing like that. I had no idea what the bang was, but I was with a friend at the time, she heard it too.
Okay.
And we both sort of directly looked at the bathroom, couldn't figure out what it was that the sound had come from.
Yeah.
There definitely wasn't anything that dropped, and so yeah, there's been quite a few occasions.
In
where-
any of the episodes, has it ever made you feel scared, frightened, intimidated?
No. I think where I had that past growing up, at first it was very scary back then. But once I sort of started getting used to the fact that he wasn't trying to hurt me back then, I don't think it really bothers me that much now. So if something like that happens, I'm sort of like, oh, weird, you know, strange. But I don't bat much of an eyelid. It's pretty normal to me, I suppose.
Yeah.
After the years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You get used to it, don't you,
Yeah.
anyway? You do
Yeah.
get used to it.
There's been a few occasions. I mean, I woke up one morning. I have a thing I always have growing up. I have to shut my bedroom door when I go to sleep, always. And I woke up the other morning with it open. And of course, my son was asleep in bed, and there's no one else that lives in the house with us. Did not make sense to me. So yeah, there's been a few occasions.
Right.
And not to mention spirit orbs and things that have picked. So I have a baby monitor for my son still,
Yeah.
and obviously it switches over to night vision. There's been a few times I've had sort of like a white mist, white smudge, or there was one occasion there was a very, very bright white light that entered the camera and went up to my son and disappeared afterwards.
This is where your baby was?
In bed asleep, yeah.
Right, okay.
And I had him on the monitor, and there's been a couple of occasions where there's been something white that will come across the screen, not like a spectre, it's a different sort of shape. I have had like the odd orbs, but nothing like this. It was a strange white mist that came across the screen. And there was one occasion it looked as though it went up to my son's head as if it were to kiss him, and went away. But there was one occasion that I still don't understand, never experienced it before, and there was what looked like a spirit orb at first, but it sort of got bigger and was that bright the whole screen went white and then just vanished. I have no idea what it was, never experienced it before, and didn't after that day, so I have no idea.
Okay.
I did watch that.
Any interference of electrical items, TVs,
No, nothing like that.
anything like that?
He didn't even have a light on or anything like that. Anything like that switched off. And the only way that the camera connects is literally from the monitor to the camera. Nothing's through Wi-Fi, anything.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. All curtains and everything's shut, so it's not. He's not even on the side of the road, so it couldn't have been like a car light or anything.
Because a lot of people do say that it's dust, or
Yeah.
flares? I mean, do you think it could be dust?
No, I've seen dust. You get the odd
Yeah.
specks of dust naturally anyway, which I've noticed. But no, this was something. This was very bright, very bright. I have no idea. It was as if someone had walked up to a night vision camera with a flashlight. It was really weird.
Can I ask you about the house? Give me a little about too much detail. We don't want to know where it is or anything. But do you know anything about the history of the house?
I don't. I want to look into it. I know that it's a pretty old house,
Yeah.
especially by the structures. I couldn't tell you how old. I would probably say a good, at least probably 100 years old. I mean, the house I grew up in as a child, where I did experience stuff, that was well over 100 years old.
It was,
and
it
did have a pretty good history. I know that it did used to be a brothel back then. A long time ago, my childhood home.
Okay.
So there was a lot of history to that one. This one, I'm not sure. I do need to look into it, but I know it's an old home.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know the history.
Is there anyone else that lived with you at the time that witnessed any of this?
What, in my place now?
Yeah, well, probably not in your place now. I don't know, but before.
Well, in my place now, definitely, I've had occasions where I've had friends over and things have happened.
They've witnessed stuff, have they?
Yes. In the place before, a lot of it was more focused on me. Parents didn't really believe me that much. To be honest, I don't think my parents really believe as such in all of this. My brother, he did have one occasion growing up where he supposedly turned over one night and had someone laid next to him in bed.
Okay.
Freaked him out, and he still swears to this day that happened. And that was probably around the time that these things were happening. So,
Okay. Did he tell you this or tell your parents?
Both.
Both, yeah?
Yeah, and still now, I mean, he's a full-grown adult now, and he's still very adamant that happened.
Is he?
Yes.
Right, okay.
So,
okay.
I have no idea. There's been a few things growing up here and there. But yeah, a lot of it I think only I really witnessed. The shadow figure was witnessed once by a friend when she was over, but that was it.
Okay.
A lot of it was mainly when I was on my own in my bedroom.
Okay.
So.
Do you know, a lot of people, including myself, like we're on a ghost hunt at the moment, yeah? But it's almost like you experience a little thing in life and it just opens a door to so many facets of the paranormal. If I was to ask you, like, have you ever seen UFO? Have you ever seen things like disembodied voices? Maybe doppelgangers? Maybe, everything is like, it seems like it's connected.
It is, yeah. And I mean, years ago, you probably could have asked me, do I believe if there's anything more to afterlife? And I would have said no. But after everything, I would say there's definitely something else. It just doesn't make sense otherwise.
Do you think it's us that is doing this? Do you think it's like a reflection somehow of us?
I don't know. Although the way I see it is the way people sort of come into this world, the whole fact of life and the way it's created is, yes, okay, scientifically it's understandable, but the fact that life sort of came about from nothing. I mean, think millions of years ago we didn't have no humans on the earth. So I think, considering we sort of come from nothing, there can't be nothing afterwards, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense,
just,
yeah.
The fact of I can't see it just being life and death. There's got to be more to it than that. And like I said about my granddad, I am positive that was my granddad, and he was past at that point. So there's no way or any other explanation other than that was him. But I know he was dead. He'd been dead for a good year.
And you smelt the smoke?
100%, and I felt him walk past me out of my door.
And for people who don't know pipes, they're very distinctive, aren't they? Really distinctive.
I think the specific tobacco, or whatever it was he used to smoke, was something called black, I think it was black cherry or something. I don't even think you can get it now.
No. Very distinctive though. It's
It
like a
is.
real kind of thick, heavy kind of
It was.
smell and smoke, isn't it?
It was, and the fact that there was no windows open, no door open, nothing.
Yeah.
There was no one else I'd ever
Yeah.
known that smoked it. I'm pretty certain that was my great granddad.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
in a way,
it
isn't it?
is. So that was the pushing point for me. I was like, no, there's definitely
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you get a choice to sort of remain here, or there's something else that somewhere else you can move on to. I don't know. I guess we'll find out one day. But
I guess we will. Listen, can I get your first name?
Chloe.
Carly, name's Phil. Thank you very much for sharing that. I do appreciate it. And this will be posted. I'll stick it onto the YouTube and the Facebook, because I think things like this, I've also posted a lot of my stories that I've had.
Yeah.
It's good to share, because there's other people out there that may be sort of inhibited to say anything,
Yeah.
maybe too scared to say something, and I think it kind of like it might spark something in them. And the more people that get together and say, look, yeah, we've had the same kind of thing happen,
Yeah.
it's good.
To be honest, even saying about my parents not really, being too sure on it. I mean, my dad don't necessarily believe. My mum used to get things growing up. And she will still tell this story now of a little boy she saw at the top of the stairs, which she went to, I believe it was my dad's cousin's house, something like that, aunt's house, and she had 3 little boys. And my mum was standing there one day at the bottom of the stairs and looked up the stairs, and there was a door that had sort of not a window that you can see through, like the crackles sort of windows, so they're not.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. I can't think what it's called right now. But she could see a little boy very clearly standing at the top of the stairs on the other side of the glass. And she actually turned to the woman's house she was at and said, "Oh, what one of your boys is at home?" She went, "None of them, they're all out." She went, "Well, who's the little boy at the top of the stairs?" And the lady got that freaked out. She actually brought a dog in and everything, because they was like,
Whoa.
"What was that?" So my mum sort of got it, and they actually had an incident the other day at their new house. It's new build and everything, so it's really strange that it happened. But my mum went up to the bathroom. No one had been in the bathroom or anything. She had been in it recently, so she knew how she left it. She went back into the bathroom probably about 10-15 minutes later, and she said that the toilet roll had been pulled the whole way down and folded neatly onto the floor. No one had touched it.
Okay.
No windows open, no nothing. And she even turned to my dad, her husband, and said, did you go in the bathroom? Have you been there? And he was like, "No, I've been here this whole time that you've been down here." And even she was like, "Well, why is the tissue all on the floor?" And even he couldn't explain it. So
And it's very strange for a guy to actually fold it at the end as well. Usually you find out the cleaners,
but this
or
was the whole way down.
yeah, like hotel staff, things like that.
And their sort of toilet roll holders aren't these ones that, like, if you put it, it's just going to keep on going.
Yeah.
And like I said, my mum had already been in there, so she had used the bathroom and she had ripped the toilet roll off. She knew how it was left, and then when she went back, it was all rolled down, as if someone had literally just stood there doing that.
Do you know, it is almost as if they're kind of like, I don't know, like they're playing, they're tricksters.
It is. I mean, I don't know.
They're like kind of. What do you make of them from the point of view of you can go up to bed and then you'll hear something downstairs. You go downstairs and you can't see anything, but you know that something's either been moved or handled.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have had that. It's like they need our attention.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they need us to validate their being there by witnessing what they've done, or witnessing them going past us.
Yeah.
To be able to
No, that makes sense.
I mean, if we go now, right, and we're going to jump in the cars,
Yeah.
and we go, are they still going to be here, roaming about the tunnels, or...
That's what I question. Like I said, is it, you know, you pass and you're sort of stuck here, your soul's stuck here, whatever it is, or do they have an option to leave and go wherever, I don't know, heaven, whatever
Yeah.
else it is beyond that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're sort of stuck here after you're left and you're just here constantly, it's almost as if you're stuck in limbo. It's not like, surely there's a choice there. I can't see everyone that has passed being able to stick around forever.
Do you know, it's funny, there's been instances where patients in a coma, yeah, and they basically, they flatline, so their synapses,
Yep.
you know, the firing
Yep.
mechanisms going to the hippocampus, not receiving nothing, it's just
Yeah.
flatline. They're alive, but they're in an induced coma, or they're in a coma because of trauma.
Yeah.
And there's been instances, quite a few of them, where they'll wake up and I'll go, nurse, thank you so much for coming in and holding my hand and comforting
Yeah.
me.
It's like
My
they're conscious.
loved one, my other half came in, kissed my forehead, and I remember that, thank you. You know, I love you as well, darling.
Yeah.
And how can that be? Is it a case, do you think, that part of what we're dealing with when we're going around looking for this stuff is because actually what they are is what we believe is we've got our mind, yeah, our brain in here,
Yeah.
but our consciousness,
Yeah.
our thoughts are actually a hive. It's actually external to
Yeah.
us, and they're part of the external. They only manifest because we're there in a way. It's a bit like biocentric thought. We're there to manifest them. Do you think that could be a thing?
I mean, it's possible. To be honest, there's so many possibilities.
There's so many,
Isn't
so
there?
many.
I've heard so many different theories.
Does my
I
nutting.
mean, like you get like the reincarnation, for example.
Yeah.
When people have died and they've got, and there's a lot of stories on that just they don't make sense otherwise unless it was that.
Yeah.
You know. I
Yeah.
have no idea. Or the people that have passed for a brief period of time, their heart stopped, whatever,
Yeah.
and they've been resuscitated. A lot of people have said there's been occasions where they've seen loved ones that have passed during that time, or like you say, they are aware of what's happened beyond that when they're not breathing, they're not, you know, their brain's not reacting, and they know things that have happened. It just, and like you say about the validation of like them wanting to validate that we are aware that they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of occasions, I mean, not personally, don't get me wrong, that it's almost as if someone stepped forward to help that person or remind them of something.
Yeah.
And there's been one occasion where someone I knew, I think they had to go to the hospital for something. And there was one specific thing they had to remember. And they put it on top of their eggs on the side to make sure they remembered it. And as they went to walk out the house without it, completely forgot, something smashed behind them. They turned around and it was the eggs on the floor, and I think it was the tape or something they had to take
Right.
was sat still on top of their necks,
Ooh.
as if to say, "Don't forget that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it could be family, it could be anyone, anything. Like here, I suppose whatever sort of decided to hold on, maybe. Or maybe they don't have a choice, maybe everyone is still here somehow, they just choose whether they want to do something about it.
Do you know, I'd like to invite you onto my podcast show, video podcast show. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the I'll give you the YouTube thingy, and then I'm not sure if I've got a card, and then hopefully you can come on and
No,
can have a
I'll
bit of a
sort
chat.
something.
All right, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's fine.
I appreciate it. Sometimes let's do a strobe. Tell you what, you don't make it easy, guys. You really don't, you know? It's like trying to pull hen's teeth, trying to get a dead person. Right. Okay, now's your chance to jump in and out of the shadow, okay?
Say it.
Go on, yeah, I'm saying. I'm not your enemy, you know. I'm just interested to find out. Just put that down there, that's all. That's it. Why are you making it so difficult? Come on. If it was me, do you know what I would do? I would play tricks. I'd be a right wind-up. I'd be making banging noises over there, banging noises over here. The door is just there.
Right. Did you think that? Did you ever go to seances? Did you?
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
Farm? Okay, still don't make sense. You okay? Okay. Farm doesn't really make sense. Can you give me a bit more? What are we talking about with the farm? What farm was it? Was this a farm once? Just ring the bell. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, I'll ring this bell if you ring the other one, yeah? Even better, if you want to play a game, yeah, see if you can do this. Do that to the other one.
Harwich.
Oh, hello. Let's have a look. Her heart a jerk. Farm. Her heart a jerk. How does she jerk you around? You worked on a farm? I'm just trying to put pieces together here because you're not giving me an awful lot. What, she jerked you around? She broke your heart?
And I.
Man, unclear. Manai. Isn't that Greek? Come on, we don't have long here. Come on, give me something. Well, tell you what, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take those bells, and, you know, tell you what, I went to the artillery caves over the other side, and I caught on video someone hiding, a shadow, a hand, and somebody hiding. So, if it was you, and if you're here, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to put bells up. Yeah, I'm going to spend some time there.
I just heard movement through there.
A noise?
When you walk off, yeah.
Here. Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, right. I'm going to shut up now. I mean, come on, seriously? If I was dead, right, I would make every use possible to oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to use them energies and I would kind of make some kind of communication. Oh, come on, man. Okay, I'm going to go to that big cave. Oh, weird. I just saw someone walk across there. On Thermal. Somebody walked across there.
That's where
They gave off a heat signature. They just went across there. Through the doorway. Oh man, I've got to play that back. Thank you very, very much. Wow. Tell me something. When I die, will I end up like this?
Your knee.
Because this is a real cryptic way to die, you know what I mean? It's just like kind of yarny. That's Jewish.
Just look like someone standing in front of you.
Yeah. Any spirits? Any so-called entities? I did see here shadow being. Yeah.
Days.
Days. Days. It's okay, Patty, I'm not going to hurt you. I mean no harm. I hear it on my own.
Dead.
Any beings, any entities? I'm here on my own. Could always make a noise.
Hardwall.
What's that? Oh. Heart ore. Okay. So, pardon me. Okay.
Sunnatter.
Sonata.